time to review my 2023 goals, my progress throughout the year. What did I achieve? What were my highs? I get into some of the data and statistics, some charts here and there, and I especially want to focus on the highlights of the year. So in 2023, I decided to make my goals measurable. I decided to go for 1,000 kilometers of running, 24,000 pull-ups. Shout out to Lex Fridman. 42,000 push-ups. I wanted to start my own business, find my own place to live. I wanted to read 42 books, and I wanted to laugh every day. At the start of the year, I started tracking my progress every day in an Excel sheet. And here and there, I decided to alter my goals a little bit, focus a little bit less on finding a home, but rather stabilizing my income and explore my road to financial independence. I also set some sub goals during my year. For example, with the 1,000 kilometer of running, I decided to do a marathon wearing a 10 kilo vest, and also for my pull-ups, push-ups, as well as running, see how much I could do wearing a 10 kilo vest. With reading, for example, I decided like, hey, I can read an audiobook a month, but that sort of got out of hand, and yeah, I read way more audiobooks than physical books. As for my business, I tried to grow online. This video I've spent a lot of time into, and most likely this is not a great return on investment, at least number wise, but quality wise and for myself, this is like the climax of everything coming together from the past year. Well, of course, being in the moment was the highlight, but this is one way of summarizing what I've accomplished in 2023. Now, with that said, I want to get right into the details. So, I created a little chart summarizing every month. It's a bit hard to get everything in right away, but to compare to my 2023 goals, this is basically my progress of the entire year, day by day, measuring my running, pull-ups, push-ups, my business, how much I love my reading, etc., etc. So one thing I really want to underscore: I showed up for a workout every day. Meaning that every day I at least did some pull-ups and some push-ups. Not every day I was running, and that takes a little bit more recovery in my body, but to show up for pull-ups and push-ups every day brought me a lot of discipline. It was easier to show up for a workout every day because the mindset was like, I'm gonna do a workout anyway, so the question is rather how many repetitions I will do rather than will I do a workout at all. The second question was already answered. I would do a workout today. And that's still going on for 2024. So, January, as again, I want to take it month by month, but January is actually the month where I did the most push-ups. 160 kilometers of running, 2,611 pull-ups, and 4,733 push-ups. And of course, in 10 kilo vest, this is the amount I did of the total amount in January in a 10 kilo vest. So this is not added to this, it's part of the amount. February, it's an okay month, keeping it steady. March also, regarding my workouts, nothing too special. In April, not my strongest month. In May you can actually see it climbing up a little bit, especially with the running and the 10 kilo workouts. Because in May I started my goal for running a 10 kilo marathon, and yeah, June, July, August is basically the month with the most amount of daylight, easier to get outside and get something done. And yeah, most of my runs were in a 10 kilo vest, and I wanted every day that I was working out in a 10 kilo vest, I wanted all the running, all the pull-ups and the push-ups done in that vest. So basically summarizing it, the maximum amount of push-ups I did in a month was in January. The maximum amount of running I did in a month was in August. Also the month that I ran the most in the 10 kilo vest. And the maximum amount of pull-ups I did in a month was in November. Overall, in the entire year, I ran 1186 kilometers, of which 611 were in a 10 kilo vest, and my maximum distance in a 10 kilo vest was 42.7 kilometers according to GPS tracking. Maximum amount of pull-ups was just over 30,000, reached it on the last day of 2023. 30,030 pull-ups, of which in a 10 kilo vest were 4,238, and the most in a 10 kilo vest in a day was 107 pull-ups. As for push-ups, my initial goal was 42,000, and I hit a total of just over 50k, 50,040 push-ups, of which 7,479 were done in the 10 kilo vest, and the most I did in the 10 kilo vest in a day was 202. Next up, I'm gonna run through some charts, which is the first one, the running. So basically a visualization of how my running progress was throughout the year. Started off strong, had a little bit of a dip in February and March. Started gaining momentum as there was more daylight during the day. And the dark green bars are basically the amount of runs I did in the 10 kilo vest. You can see that I really started training for the marathon in the summer, and it really started to decline in October. Nevertheless, I reached my goal. Pull-ups, quite steady throughout the year, nothing too special, but a strong month in November to go for the 30,000 pull-ups by the end of the year, and push-ups basically all the same also. Yeah, again, in the summer you can see a little bit of a peak in 10 kilo workouts. That of course is in line with the 10 kilo marathon. Now, this is a little bit of a mess. I counted every time. I basically sort of worked on my business according to my own randomized standards. But basically any day I felt like I contributed to my own business, I counted it. And that's how many days I spent every month, contributing to my own personal business, and how many hours I spent doing it. In March, I may have done a little bit of overkill, a little bit too enthusiastic, but it is what it is. In the end, it's not the goal of how many hours I spent or how many days I will spend. The goal from last year was to learn and grow and see what do I enjoy and what do I find important. As for reading, I barely reached my target of 42 books, and I read only 6 physical books rather than my initial goal of like 30. And I wanted to do 1 audiobook a month, but that turned out to be like 36 audiobooks in the entire year. So on average, 3 listens a month. As for finding my own place to live, that was basically the first half of the year where I sort of went for it. And in the second half of the year, I decided to go for something else, namely my own car, which I enjoyed driving every day, the Tesla Model 3 refresh. I started tracking my sleep, my readiness and of waking up, my average time of waking up. It's on a scale of 1 to 100, where 85 is a cutoff for excellent sleep and readiness, and the best average I reached was 78 for readiness and 76 for sleep. Definitely some room for improvement, but I recognize that I'm still quite young, and this is the time where I want to spend more time working on myself, so I'm more independent in the future. As for love, I know that whatever I could for love during a day, and I counted it per month, and since July I noticed something working for my love in the for friends, family, potential lovers, or humanity in total. Yeah, I try to find something to love every day. It's quite important to me, relatively easily once you get the hang of it. And I want to discuss some of the highlights throughout the year. So in January, I had some pretty emotional conversations with a great friend of mine. Uh, my grandma was having a little bit of health trouble. My brother got married, sort of by law. I had my job interview of my current job, and I watched some of my friends finish their military training that month, which was definitely the highlight that month. In February, I got my job offer, decided to accept it, and so far I have no regrets. I bought a bunch of notebooks, which I gave away for free to people I cared about and recommended or urged them to start using it. And it was the first month of having an Aura ring and start tracking my health progress. In March, it started with the Tesla Investor Day, which was underestimated, in my opinion, by so many people on so many levels. It was also the month that I reached my share count target of amount of Tesla shares that I had for 2030, and I reached it this year. So my goal, my target was like way off, or I was basically working very hard on that goal. I don't know. Maybe it's uh, a case of both sides. It's also the month that I started drinking Athletic Greens AG1, and I had some great times with my brothers, some great conversations and insights that went both ways. In April, I started my new job, and I enjoy so much there. It's definitely the best job I've ever had, with a great team, a great team leader, uh, and definitely a great place for me to learn and grow as a person. In April, we also had the Starship launch on 420. We hosted a techno event at the club I volunteer at, and my cousin got married. In May, I celebrated the bachelor party of my one of my brothers. I celebrated 78 years of freedom in Europe, quite important to me. And it's also at the end of the month where I announced that I would be running a 10-kilo marathon for charity. I announced it at a party with my football team, and that was a special moment. Um, One that I probably will remember in like 20, 30 years. It was very special to me. In June, my brother got married. It was an amazing day. I also celebrated Ironman Day, which is basically the 21st of June, the day with the longest amount of daylight, where I maxed my Ironman in RuneScape, and that inspired me to go for 2,277 euros to donate to charity in the fight against epilepsy. And within a month after announcing that I would go run a 10-kilo marathon, I reached that goal. I did not expect it to reach it, and especially that fast. So I was overwhelmed by the love and the support. In July, I learned to yeah, watch my mouth, what opinions I share, and where I want to speak and where I should maybe remain silent. But it's also a lesson I learned that month by Jordan Peterson. When you have something to say, silence is a lie. I spent some time with friends, and it was a month where I started gaining some pull-up records. It was great weather, I was in great shape, had some excellent momentum, and that's where I started pumping it out week after week. It's also the month where I did the most amount of pull-ups in a 10 kilo vest as well as push-ups. In August, I had a lot of dedication to work, basically working hard from starting early to working overtime. I got a 2277 euro single donation for my charity run. That was magnificent. Thank you. I started playing some volleyball, which I enjoy very much. I celebrate my father's birthday, and it was the month where Elon live streamed full self-driving version 2, which I know the entire Tesla community, especially in the United States, is very much looking forward to. At least the diehards. In September, I had some great weekends with friends. A lot of great moments shared there. I reached my 30 pull-up record. Not so much the strict pull-up, so it's kind of an unofficial record to me, but still very much a highlight of how much I have grown over the past couple of months. It was also a month where I suffered from epilepsy and had to call in sick for work. And the support I got from my team and especially my manager, yeah, really made me feel appreciated and at the right place. In October, the best month of the year for me. I ran the 10 kilo marathon. It was a tough challenge, accomplishment, task, whatever, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Overwhelmed by the support again, and I'm very proud of what we have accomplished there. I also had some contact with my old military captain. I basically shared that I was going to run this marathon, and he checked out my story, decided to support me, and afterwards reached out to me to say how proud he was. Basically complimented me for my integrity and attitude. And even though the run did not go like I wanted, sort of congruent with how life went for me. If it's not going like it's supposed to go, yeah, you can complain about it or you can just deal with it and make it happen like it is. And to finish off the month of October, I gave myself a little birthday present by buying a Tesla Model 3. I still cannot quite believe it, but I enjoy that car so much. Uh, yeah, I'm definitely one of those weird guys that is in love with their car. In November, the highlight of the month for some reason was the Cybertruck release event. 4 years ago, I that was like the moment that I was like, I'm gonna invest in Tesla. And 4 years later, to see the Cybertruck release event, all the specs and madness and hype, you've seen nothing yet. This thing is gonna take over the world. Yeah, the month where Starship launched for the second time full stack. I had some viral posts on X and YouTube, which I'm very happy with. And I had a negative payslip. And the first thing that occurred to me, like, oh, okay, this is unexpected. But right after that, the moment after that, I was asking myself, what will this mean to me? And then I started thinking like, hey, I can work through this. It's not the end of the world. I built in some safety reserves to get through the next month. And basically, I'm very proud that I developed the attitude of, hey, will this mean to me? Because it was something unexpected, quite negative. I yeah, definitely was a little bit overwhelmed by it, but I managed to deal with it, and it was not as bad as it seemed. Yeah, I'm basically very proud of my attitude in regards to that. In December, winter was coming. It started getting really cold, which I don't like, but yeah, we're having some struggles at the club I volunteer at. At least that's my opinion, but nevertheless, I want to give it my all and still enjoy the time I have there. I set my 2024 goals. I won this prize from the Divisie. And this concludes my summary, my review for 2023. It has been an excellent year. I'm really glad that I wrote down my 2023 goals and that I tracked them. It made me disciplined, it made me go for them, and it made me reach most of them. And I'm very, very satisfied with the result. I'm a big believer of setting goals now that I've done it myself. And even though 2024 has already started, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to make some goals if you still have not done so for the year. As the old saying goes, better late than never. And it also applies to me. I'm 27 years old now. I should have done this when I was like 16, but better late than never. Um, Again, 2023 is probably been the best year of my life. I've experienced so much great progress, so many great moments, happiness. Yeah, this will be a year to remember. And with that said, I thank you for watching. I hope I inspired you in some way, and I'll see you next year.